Sandy Matheson is probably one person on whose newsworthiness the Gazette and the Free Press agree. I talked to him at the chemist shop he runs in the town centre. Sandy Matheson, although used to dispensing medicines, perhaps better known for dispensing bylaws to the community as a whole. What sort of problems do you face as convener of the council?
Oh, most of them are very pleasant problems. After all, it is a small community and we all get on very well. I think part of the pressure is the fact that one always has a reasonably high profile. There is no such thing as anonymity in this community. I wouldn't like to speculate how I'm known. The simple fact is that I am known and recognised. May have something to do with silhouette, I'm not sure.
I like the display of pharmaceutical bottles behind you. Has it taken you a long time to collect those?
Yes, it's rather an interesting collection because I'm something of a traditionalist as well as trying to be a fairly modern and progressive pharmacist. I did my basic training in a very traditional shop in Aberdeen, and I got some knowledge of the former ways of pharmaceutical chemistry, and I've gradually built up this collection over the last 20 years. Many of them are from this original shop and therefore date back something like 100 years. But I think it makes an interesting collection and in some way is an expression, I think, of my own fairly ambivalent attitude to life, progressive and yet firmly rooted in good solid tradition.
Do you really enjoy politics?
Oh, absolutely. I'm beginning, I think, with middle age to learn something about tranquility and peace of mind. As I was saying to my wife last week, I used to get uptight about every issue. Now I only get uptight about one or two. The actual external symptoms are exactly the same. But in a large measure, of course, I don't know what I would do without local government work.
Are politics any different in Stornoway than they are in the mainland?
Oh, I think they are. They're by no means so intense. We refuse to accept traditional media labels of left, right and centre. Everybody here, whatever the party allegiance, is actually a mixture of everything. And I think that adds a certain spice to local politics. You can never be sure which side of the political spectrum a person is actually truly going to belong to or even thinks they belong to.
We also hear so often in the news of people coming up from, shall we say, south of Hadrian's Wall with lots of money, able to buy large tracts of land for building or whatever. Is this a problem in the island?
Well, that isn't an obvious problem in our community, perhaps because we have a rather unique form of land ownership through the Stornoway Trust Estate. This organisation was set up some 60 years ago by Lord Leverhulme, who was a very interesting personality in his own right in this community. Suffice it to say, I think that our land owning is on the basis not of land nationalisation, but on genuine community ownership. The Stornoway Trust Estate is administered by 10 publicly elected trustees who look after all aspects of land management. And this means that the land can be given out with great flexibility to those who require it for good and proper reasons. It also means that we do have certain restraining influences on people who might want to come in and use it for reasons which don't fully accord with the needs of the community. It's a very, very interesting model, worthy of great examination, and one that I would commend to other areas suffering from the blight of people who come in and see nothing else to do but to change the community they have decided to live in.
Okay, Sandy, I want you to put the convener's hat on now, because I've got an issue I would like to take up with the council. The midges are terrible. What can you do about them?
Well, we're doing something about that. That really comes back into this other side of the shop. They're not such a problem, really. And I suppose if that's all this community has to bother about, we're very fortunate. The fishermen, I think, have learned to put up with it.
You can sell me something?
Yes, oh, I'm sure I can, yes. It'll work as well.
And who could ever doubt him? Well, Sandy's patent remedies go more than skin deep, improving the physical and social well-being of customer and voter alike. Surely a much harder task were it not for the Harris tweed industry that provides for their financial well-being. Bruce Burns is managing director of Clansman Mills, and I asked him whether it was still termed a cottage industry.
The industry itself is very much a cottage industry. The hand weaving is done entirely by the crofter weaver at his own home. This must be the case in order to qualify for the Orb trademark, which is stamped on the cloth and which is on the label which goes onto the garment. However, allied to that, we have a highly technological industry within the mills, which is up to the standard of anything anywhere in the world. Harris tweed is sold worldwide. absolutely worldwide. North American market is probably the most important market collectively, but we sell throughout Europe, we sell throughout the United Kingdom, we sell in the Far East, Japan in particular, we sell in Australasia, and we've even sold in South America down towards the Falkland Islands.
This is a kaleidoscope of colour, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like a television test card, is this?
Indeed, yes. Beautiful colours here. They're very vivid. Now, perhaps I can explain to you the real beauty of Harris Tweed. You see, Harris Tweed yarns are made, they're multicolour yarns. We use as many as 5, 6, perhaps 7 different colours in the making of a yarn. And when it's woven into the cloth, you get this glistening colour come out. And just demonstrate this. If you have a dark background, for example, such as this, and we mix together some of this bright red and our bright blue and a little touch of our bright yellow and a little touch of our green here. If we put this together on a black background and we mix it in like this, you can see now if we spin this, these beautiful colours go into the yarn, into the background, and as I say, in the actual cloth, you see the fibre coming out and the beauty of the colours. You see that?
Yes.
That's what makes Harris Tweed the unique cloth that it is.
Beautiful and unique that it is, Harris Tweed, along with most other economic activity in Stornoway and on the island, depends very much indeed on the Solven, as I do myself to get back to the mainland. And this ferry has taken over 1.5 million passengers and is now being coaxed into retirement by Captain John MacDonald, who has himself been at sea for some 28 years and for the last 8 years as skipper of the Solven. How much is marine technology changing? How much has it changed in the years that you've been at sea?
Oh, well, it's changed an awful lot. It certainly has. I mean, when I went to sea first, I mean, there was a radar. Most ships didn't have radars, and all that had, was a telegram on the bridge, and a foghorn to blow in intense weather. So it has changed a lot.
Well, you have had your fair share of bad weather, I'm quite sure, over the years that you have been skippering the Solven. What's the worst you can remember, John?
Well, the worst, I think, honestly, the worst is we went over in a northeasterly 411 one time. We left Stornoway and it didn't appear to be as bad at Stornoway, but we didn't come back that night. We stayed in Ullapool for the night. I think, honestly, personally, that was the worst night I've had on the Sullivan.
Now, the Solven is almost at the end of her term, isn't she? How much of a lifeline do you reckon this ship has been to the island?
Oh, yes. I mean, the island is very, very dependable on this ship. If we actually missed one run, it would take us the best part of a week to clear the backlog of traffic, especially in the winter months and in the height of the season.
Does that happen often?
No. That's not to say that we're not sailing late because of bad weather. Weather can change a lot in a couple of hours.
John, what do you do about seasick presenters?
Well, if we had a bad day, we could have a funeral at sea, couldn't we?
You might have to. Not that I would really enjoy being buried here. Oh no, it's terra firma for me. This old warhorse, the Solven, still has a few years left yet to ply the minch, and she's seen all kinds of weather. But weather apart, the friendliness and the warmth of this community is something you must experience. No wonder islanders abroad on the mainland feel homesick. Heaven can't be far away from lovely Stornoway.